Before basketball became a game of spacing, stretch bigs, and guards dominating the perimeter, the NBA lived in the age of giants, a time when championships were decided in the paint, when every possession was a battle of strength, timing, and willpower. And no rivalry captured the soul of that era more than the collision between Hakeem Olajuwon and Shaquille O'Neal. A rivalry that wasn't the longest, wasn't filled with trash talk, but remains one of the purest tests of greatness the game has ever seen. Shaquille O'Neal didn't enter the NBA quietly. He arrived in 1992 like a meteor hitting the league, a 7'1", 300-pound force of nature who ran the floor like a guard, jumped like a wing, and hit opposing centers with the impact of a truck. He tore down rims, he shattered backboards, he made veteran centers look like children trying to stop a freight train. Commentators said it plainly. Shaq isn't just the future of the NBA, he's the future of dominance. But long before Shaq intimidated anyone, Hakeem Olajuwon had already mastered the art of the center position. Hakeem wasn't loud, he wasn't flashy, he didn't dunk on you with a roar or flex after every bucket. Instead, he dissected you. Hakeem moved like a ballerina trapped in a warrior's body. His footwork was surgical. His timing was supernatural. He could fake defenders out of the frame without even dribbling. He was calm when others panicked, composed when others forced shots, and deadly when others hesitated. If Shaq was an earthquake, Hakeem was geometry. Their rivalry represents basketball at its purest. One player unstoppable by strength, the other unstoppable by skill. But to understand their battle, you have to understand their journeys. Shaq grew up idolizing big men like Kareem and Dr. J, but he modeled his mindset after one man, Hakeem. Even as a young player, Shaq studied the dream shake. He watched how Hakeem pivoted around defenders, how he read double teams, how he controlled games without speaking a word. Shaq respected Hakeem long before they ever met. Hakeem, meanwhile, had already defeated giants: Patrick Ewing, David Robinson, Charles Barkley, Karl Malone. He didn't fear size anymore. He had fought every battle the league had to offer. By the mid-90s, he wasn't just a center, he was the center. And so destiny prepared a collision in the 1995 NBA Finals. The Orlando Magic, young and explosive, versus the Houston Rockets, battle-tested and poised. It wasn't just a matchup, it was a storyline. The bold young prince versus the wise old master. Game 1 immediately revealed the difference between them. Shaq tore through Houston's defense like he always did, dunks, power moves, unstoppable drives. But Hakeem didn't try to overpower him, he dismantled him. A fake right, spin left, counter spin, fadeaway, scoop shot, up and under, floaters, hooks. Shaq never knew which direction the storm was coming from. And Hakeem wasn't just scoring, he was manipulating the entire Magic defense, drawing doubles, killing their rotations, creating open shots for Robert Horry and Kenny Smith. Shaq got his numbers, but Hakeem controlled the oxygen of the game. What separated them wasn't talent, both had plenty. It wasn't even dominance, both dominated in their own way. It was experience. Hakeem had already sacrificed heartbreak, endured playoffs where dreams died early, and grew into a champion forged under pressure. Shaq was just beginning to understand what true dominance required. But even in defeat, Shaq never backed down.
He absorbed every move, memorized every mistake, studied every possession, even during the games. Game after game, the story repeated. Shaq brought force, Hakeem brought finesse. Shaq brought raw power, Hakeem brought infinite counters. Shaq dunked through contact, Hakeem danced around it. Houston swept the series 4-0, but that wasn't the real story. The real story was what happened inside Shaq. Most players leave a finals loss discouraged, broken, angry. Shaq left inspired. Years later, Shaq explained, "Hakeem taught me what greatness really is, and I needed that to become who I became." The rivalry wasn't hatred, it was transformation. And Shaq transformed. He developed better footwork, improved his conditioning, studied how to create deeper post position, and learned how to punish defenders without losing efficiency. The result? The early 2000s Lakers dynasty. Prime Shaq, the most physically dominant player since Wilt Chamberlain. And to this day, when reporters ask Shaq, "Who was the toughest player you ever faced?" his answer is instant. Hakeem Olajuwon. Not even close. The respect was mutual. Hakeem admired Shaq's humility, his work ethic, his ability to learn from defeat. He recognized that the monster he battled in 1995 would one day grow into a legend. Fans often debate who would win, Prime Hakeem or Prime Shaq, and that debate itself is what makes this rivalry immortal. Do you choose Shaq's unstoppable power or Hakeem's unmatched skill? Shaq's physical explosions or Hakeem's mental precision? There's no wrong answer, only two different kinds of greatness. Hakeem's mastery made basketball look beautiful. Shaq's dominance made basketball look inevitable. Their rivalry was short, but it was pure. Two centers colliding at the perfect moment, one passing the torch, the other learning how to hold it. What made this rivalry legendary wasn't just what happened on the court, but how both men elevated each other. Hakeem showed Shaq what refinement meant. Shaq showed Hakeem what future dominance would look like. Together, they created the last great era of true centers. In a league now dominated by guards and spacing, their battle stands as a reminder of what the NBA once was. A world of giants, of strength and artistry, of warriors who fought with footwork and force, and of legends whose styles couldn't have been more different, yet equally unforgettable. This rivalry wasn't about who won 1995. It was about the moment the student met the master, and both walked away better for it. The Dream and the Diesel. Two towers of basketball greatness. Two icons who shaped eras. Two legacies forever intertwined.